Google CEO finally heading to the hot seat today on Capitol Hill to answer questions about possible bias against conservatives. This after Google refused to attend a Senate hearing back in September over election interference. Beverly Hallberg, president of the District Media Group and fellow at the Heritage Foundation, will be at today's hearing, and she joins us now. First, thank you for being here. We appreciate it. I guess this is going to be quite a different day than Google CEO is used to.
Absolutely, and even when you talked about in September when you had these other big tech CEOs such as Facebook and Twitter going before the Senate, you had an empty chair by Google. So this will be the first time we're really going to hear from them, and I'm hoping we have some tough questions by the congressmen who are there. Not grandstanding, not taking all the airtime because they have limited time for their questions, but really putting the tough questions to Google, because what people want to know, I think first of all, one of the most important things is what are they doing with the privacy of the users, the data that users have, and also they're in the works of building a search engine for China that will have censorship included in it. So when you combine that with the concerns that people have about democratic issues and stories being prioritized in search engines, I think there's enough to go around when it comes to questions.
Yeah, sure, Beverly, and you just hit something there that I want to talk about more. China specifically in this search engine that they are in the process or in talks of developing. What's your thought on that?
Oh, I'm extremely concerned, and you even find that there is bipartisan support of concern on this. Even some Google employees have voiced their concerns. What the search engine, for what we know at this point, would do would actually be tracking where their users go, and that would be reported to the Chinese government. So when you think about Google, here they are often censoring different things going on in the states, whether it's religious in nature, Christian in nature, sometimes American in nature, where they their algorithm deems things along the lines of the Constitution as inappropriate, but yet they're going to be working with the Chinese government to censor people and to report that back to the government, and this is a government that's not friendly to Christianity. So I think they have a lot of questions to answer on why they're choosing to work with government. Is it really all about the money, or is there something else at play?
And here's part of what we are expecting to hear today from Sundar Pichai, who is the Google CEO. This is part of the prepared testimony, and it says, quote, "I lead this company without political bias and work to ensure that our products continue to operate that way. To do otherwise would go against our core principles and our business interests." But Beverly, it was just a short time back that there were some leaked emails from employees that discussed altering some of the Google search engines there to undermine conservative ideas and policies. Now, Google did go ahead and say that none of the proposals in those emails were ever implemented, but just the fact that you had this conversation going on is disheartening to a lot of people.
Well, you have two things going on. One is that often when you do have these large companies, often based in more urban areas, you're going to have people that lean liberal. You also have people who don't realize the biases that they already have. It's something that's inherent and they're not realizing it. But at the same time, as Google does have the right to do what it wants. It is a company that can do what it wants. The government has to be careful about thinking that the answer is government regulations. Let's not forget, conservatives are against bureaucrats determining what to do with the internet. When it came to net neutrality, it was good that we rolled back net neutrality. So what this comes down to, I think, is first of all, making sure that there isn't anything illegal going on when it comes to users' data. That should remain private. The policies that they have should be clear to users. I think that's important. Obviously, the situation with China.
Right.
But I think what this is getting us information about what's really going on, because as users, we need to determine how to protect ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping that another search engine can take its place in the future.
Beverly, we will certainly be watching today. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Big day ahead.